million tons of plastic waste end up in our oceans every year. But more and more people across Europe, like here in Hungary, take matters into their own hands to stop the flow of plastic litter well before it reaches the sea.
The Bodrog River, a beautiful natural site in northeastern Hungary, is marred by discarded plastic bottles carpeting its banks.
You may ask where does it come from. If you have a look, for example, in this bottle, you can see the answer, because it's from Ukraine, Transcarpathia. Most of the waste is from there, and the reason is that basically in Transcarpathia there is no waste management. They just dump the waste into the floodplain, and when the flood comes, it picks it up and spread it in Hungary.
To address the problem, Miklos Gyalai Korpos and other activists created the Plastic Cup, an annual showdown of competing teams cleaning up the banks of Hungarian rivers. This year, over 150 enthusiasts hit the Bodrog for 4 days, kayaking and rafting, scooping up plastic as they go. And there's a lot to scoop. About 90 tons of plastic waste cover a 50-kilometre stretch of this riverbank alone. If not removed, the litter is headed for the Danube, then the Black Sea, and eventually the oceans. In addition to cleaning up, this group of youngsters is also helping with a scientific study on plastic pollution. Simone Burke coordinates the project.
Children and young adults go to the river and they collect trash in a scientific way. We collect the data, we categorize it, and then it's uploaded to an online platform so scientists can use it for their research.
Backed by the EU, Plastic Pirates Go Europe is a citizen science initiative that gathers young volunteers across a dozen countries. Following a strict methodology, they clean a designated 200 square metre area and then document every piece of litter they find.
It makes me sad that there are people in the world who throw away so much litter just like that. But it's great that there are people willing to clean up after others.
So it's not just ugly, it's so dangerous for the animals because they think it's eatable stuff, it's food, and when they eat it they can die, or if a fish eat plastic and human eat fish, it's repeating.
Scientists still lack data on the plastic pollution trends in Europe, and such samplings help fill the gaps. Plastic Pirates are quickly gaining momentum across the region.
We've got Portugal, Spain, we've got Italy, we've got Belgium, Germany, Hungary, of course, where we're at right now, Latvia, Lithuania, Austria, and Georgia also just joined.
The focus on riverbanks is intentional. Plastic Pirates rally under the slogan, "The ocean starts here." Indeed, 80% of ocean plastic pollution comes from rivers and canals, carrying urban litter into the seas. Even Brussels, often called the capital of Europe, hasn't fully addressed this problem yet. Its canal is far from pristine. Local group Canal It Up organises community cleanups to get people aware and involved. On International Coastal Cleanup Day, the activists teamed up with European officials, including the EU Commissioner for Environment, Oceans and Fisheries, Virginijus Sinkevicius. The EU has big goals: cut ocean plastic pollution and household waste in half by 2030. But progress is slow. While plastic litter on most coastlines does seem to be declining, the amount of packaging in municipal waste has actually gone up by 19% in the last decade.
Today, our catch of the day, if I can call it, you see bottles that could be avoided if you use, reusable bottle. We caught quite a few coffee cups. Again, you can definitely reuse it. So reuse is important. Getting rid of single-use plastics, I think, is key. And I think, many of things in this canal could be avoided if we would, for example, would have a simple deposit system.
A deposit return system where empty packaging can be brought back to a collection point for a refund is showing promise in cutting down wastes. So the activists are pushing for Belgian stores and shoppers to fully embrace it despite the extra costs.
We are getting surrounded by countries who have an efficient deposit system. The Netherlands just introduced it last year. There's now, this week, Poland introduced the deposit system. 15 and 11% of trash we fish out of the canal are cans and plastic bottles. If we put a physical deposit system in place for these two packagings, we can get them out of nature overnight.
Plastic waste travels down rivers and oceans, crossing borders, so solving this issue needs international teamwork. The Hungarian crew behind the plastic cup have joined forces with partners in western Ukraine to prevent the river pollution problem at its source, and their annual clean-up campaigns are drawing in volunteers from different countries.
Of course, we should all worry about the situation in Hungary the same way we should worry about the situation in Spain, in Germany, and we should all try to help each other as much as we can, because the problem is global.
Over 4 days, the competitors scooped up 11 tons of trash. That's over 2,500 bags of waste that won't be polluting our oceans. Vilja Molnar has been participating since she was 9.
I think it's improving, it's getting more attention, and that helps a lot. We have more children now than ever helping us out. I'm hoping for clean rivers and that people can enjoy this beautiful nature on its own without the plastic.
All the gathered litter gets sorted, and the organisers say about 2/3 of it will be recycled.
It's really just the tip of the iceberg, and we know that we cannot remove everything from the floodplain. I think the real solution is using less, so prevent the formation of waste, and if you really need to consume something, then put it in the right place, in the right bin.
Prevent, reduce, reuse, recycle. The steps to turning the plastic tide are evident, and activists in many countries are setting an inspiring example to follow. Globally, the production of plastics is soaring, while the environmental progress is barely inching forward. Truly cleaning up our rivers, seas and oceans is going to need a worldwide push.